Well, it's Bills week. Dolphins fans, thanks for stopping in and checking out the channel. I'm still trying to grow this channel. It's still relatively new, so come on in, listen for a little bit, drop a like, comment if you disagree, comment if you agree. Whatever you want to do, anything helps. I just wanted to stop in and check in with everybody. It is Tuesday night, and it is Bills week. Yay! I think any other season I'd be a little more excited about this, and I think most of us would be. But this season is, it's special. We are sitting at 2-5, and the Bills are, what are they, 6-2? 6-2? Oh, it's not even close. I think most everybody's on the same page as I am with this. I mean, we're probably going to lose this game. As a Dolphins fan, I am cautiously optimistic. I do think that this game will be closer than everybody else seems to think that it's going to be. I do not think this is going to be a blowout game. I do think we're going to lose. But I'm going to be rooting for them and hoping they win. And just like every week, I don't ever hope that our team loses, even when we're having a bad season. You're never going to hear me hoping for a tank. I don't want to tank for some college player just to hope that they're going to be able to save our season while simultaneously saying that we can't hope for our current quarterback to save our season, like a lot of people are doing. It seems a little hypocritical. I do think that this game will be closer than the first game. I think that Tua is going to have a better game. I'll give my preview and my prediction on the game as probably Thursday night is when I'll put that video up. But just wanted to touch on a couple things here, before we get going any farther into Bills week with, interviews from Mike McDaniel and some players coming out tomorrow. Tomorrow's first day of practice for the week. Full practice. Because Monday's usually the off day. Tuesday's usually the day where they look at film and spend a lot of time in the classrooms, with their position meetings and things like that. So Wednesday will be the first game or first practice of the week, and everybody's going to have things to say. Just checking in with my personal opinion that I still think that we need to fire Chris Greer like yesterday. Like right now. Let's do it. Let's get him gone. And I think that regardless of this being Bills week or not, I think that would be the best way to go about this is to just get rid of Chris Greer. Let's face it, he's not going to do anything different. He's not going to change anything. He still thinks that the things that we need are the things that we don't need, and the things that we don't need are the things that we can get. I'm done with it. I'm done with Chris Greer. I want him gone. Aside from that, pardon me, I feel like if we can get a new GM in the door, even if it's a interim type style GM, someone to finish the season, even if it's Stephen Ross himself that takes over for the rest of the year, whatever. Get Chris Greer gone, get somebody else in at that position of GM in the front office, and let them watch the rest of this season, get their feelers out there, learn a little bit about the team. And I think that by doing that, we'll have a much clearer picture of what needs to happen to make sure this doesn't happen next year. Even if we win out every game from here on out and say we made the playoffs and won a playoff game, Chris Greer still needs to be fired. Let me just make that 100% clear. And if you're a Dolphins fan and you don't agree with me on that very basic sentiment, I don't know what to say. I'm not going to sit here and call you stupid and say that you don't know football or anything like that. I just feel like it is so obvious that that's what needs to happen first and foremost for this team going forward to succeed. Chris Greer's got to go. But we get somebody else into that position to finish the season and pay attention to everything. The coaches, the position coaches, the players, I mean, the water boys, the ball boys, everything. Pay attention to it all for the rest of the year. And then come preseason, that person is going to have a better he's going to be in a better position, he or she will be in a better position to make those decisions on who stays, who needs to go, and where to take this team from here on out, because Chris Greer's vision of this team is not working. Breathe. I'm breathing. All right. Back to the Bills. Like I said, I think this game will be closer than everybody else thinks it's going to be. I don't think we're going to win. I'll be hoping for it. In my Pick'ems League, I'm in the Pick'ems League with Dudley Do-Wrong. If you haven't checked out his channel, I mean, go check him out. He's kind of one of the people that got me started on doing this whole live streaming thing or YouTube thing. He's got a great channel. He puts out a lot of good information. He's not... he's very balanced in his thoughts and what he puts out there. So check him out. His Pick'ems League on ESPN.com. I'm in that league, and every week I'm going to pick the Dolphins, no matter what. So beginning of the season, I went through the league, or through the entire season, and picked every Dolphins game right off the bat. And yeah, of course I can go change it if I wanted to, but I'm not gonna. I want the Dolphins to win. I'm going to pick them to win every single game. No matter what. I don't care if we're playing two teams at once. I don't know how that would work out, but it might work out like it's going to work out in Buffalo this week. I'm going to pick the Dolphins every game. So I just don't think that we're going to win. Like, if I had to put my life on it, I would probably pick Buffalo. Of course, if I did that, then the Dolphins would probably win. You know, and you know, in this situation where we're losing these games like this and things are happening, and you know that there's got to be some dissension in the players' locker room. Maybe not player to player or player against player, but there's got to be some people that are upset about this. And quite frankly, I'd be more comfortable with knowing that there's upset players on our team right now than thinking that there is no upset players on our team. I would really hate to hear that our team's just all happy about it and no big deal. I wouldn't want to hear that. So when I see the rumor come out that, you know, Odell Beckham Jr. is unhappy, well, duh. I mean, what do you expect? You know, nobody wants to come to a team and lose. Nobody wants to be part of a team that's 2-5. So this is where they got to make that decision. You know, are we going to start doing things right? Are we going to put in the effort and practice? Are we going to put our time in the video room, watching tape, watching film on the game we just played, on the game that we're about to play? You know, these are things that need to happen. And I'm sure they know this. They're professional football players. So I hope that locker room is unhappy. Do I hope it's full of dissent? No. I don't hope that they hate each other. I hope that they're still sticking together as a team. But I want them to put some work forth, and I want them to know that something's wrong and to be unhappy about it. We're not going to get anything done unless our players know that something's wrong, unless our players know that they need to do better. Regardless of what's going on in the front office, regardless of who the GM puts on the team to put on the field, regardless of what play our coach calls. And that was something that there was something, you know, in college we had a couple games where things were going really bad for a couple weeks, and a few of the team felt like our offensive coordinator wasn't really calling the best series of plays for the situations that we were in. And you know, it was funny because that day at practice when it all kind of came out a little bit, you know, we all got called over the sideline, and he just talked to all of us, and it was the strangest thing, you know, because he started out saying, you know, something along, I can't remember exact words or anything, but like, I know you guys think that these plays could have been called differently and should have been called differently for these situations. And I know you think yesterday during this quarter so-and-so got the ball, and most of you probably think that was a bad idea. And he said, and you know what? And this was the part that got me, because I'm sitting there, I'm all pissed off and kind of mad, and I'm like, yeah, dude, I really think you made the wrong calls there for a solid quarter of the game and kind of ruined it for us. And he said, it pissed me off at first, but after a couple days afterwards, I realized he was kind of right. He said, it's not you guys' job. He said, it's not your job to worry about what I'm supposed to do. It's my job to worry about what I'm doing. And I just told you that you're probably right, that I shouldn't have done that during that situation. I shouldn't have given given the player the ball. And he said that just because of that, I'm on it. I'm working on that. I'll figure that out. What you need to worry about as a player on this team is to run every play that we call to the best of your ability. And later on that night, we were having dinner, talking with some of the captains and stuff. I was not a captain. I was just, I was a freshman at that point. And the guys were just talking about it, and they said, he's right. We can't be worried about what they're going to send in to call to have us run. We can't be worried about, what route's the hot route for this, or what route's the first route, what's the one pattern. We got to worry about making sure that we give good routes, even if it's the one we think is wrong. We got to make sure that we make good blocks for the player that's about to get the ball, even if we think it's wrong. And when you put it like that, it's true. So I hope there's no dissent between Dolphins players and coaches, and what I hope is that the players are doing the best they can with these plays, even if some of them probably undoubtedly think that some of these plays are wrong when they're getting called in. I mean, I'm sure of it. I'm sure some players are like, what? Why are we running the ball here? You want to do a fade to Tyreek? It's the 11-yard line. Why are we doing? I'm sure that's happening. And if I had to be a betting man, I would guess, Odell might have been a little bugged that he didn't get the call for that fade route, against Arizona in Miami last weekend. If I was Odell, I'd be kind of like, man, what the heck? I'm perfect size for that. That's my game. You're going to throw a fade route to the back of the end zone? Let me do that, So I can see that. I can see him being upset about it. So now what do? How do you respond to that? Well, we're about to friggin' find out, because we got to go to Orchard Park and play the Bills. And if our heads aren't clear, as the Dolphins, if the Dolphins' heads aren't clear, and if they're not on their game, they're going to get blown out of that stadium. And it's going to signal a lot of changes. So I guess you Dolphins fans that want everybody fired and tank for Cam Ward or tank for Shador, whatever it is you're wanting, I guess maybe you should hope that the Dolphins get blown out by the Bills, because I guarantee you, going 2-6 after a loss to the Bills, a bad loss, like if we lose by 20, 30 points, that's going to be the beginning. That's going to be the floodgates opening, Moses parting the waters. That's when everything's going to happen. So if you're that kind of a fan right now, and if you're that angry, that's what you should probably hope for. Because I guarantee you, with a blowout at Orchard Park on Sunday, that's it. We're going to start blowing things up, and we're going to become really big sellers at the end of free agency coming up here. So with that, I kind of just wanted to mention that stuff real quick. Let's look at the rest of the season. So we have Buffalo this weekend coming up in Buffalo. Then we have a Monday night game. It's the Los Angeles Rams at Miami. I still can't believe that's a Monday night game. Maybe I can see it. They will have Cooper Kupp, back, and it's going to be a tough game too. And a lot of these games coming up here are going to be hard. There's not many pushover games left on our schedule. So, Los Angeles Rams at Miami, that's a Monday night game. Then on the 17th, we have Miami at Las Vegas. We're playing the Raiders, and that's in Las Vegas, obviously. Then Sunday the 24th, we're playing New England in New England. I mean, these games, that any divisional game away is going to be hard. So just because the Patriots doesn't mean anything. And they beat the Jets last week, and they didn't look too terrible. They didn't look great, but they didn't look terrible. They're 2-6. They're tied with the Jets. Technically, they're ahead of the Jets in the division standings. So after that, on the 28th, it's a Thursday night game. Where, ooh, man. Actually, I think the Miami game is at Miami. Yeah. Yeah, the Miami game's at Miami. I don't know what I was saying. Um, Either way, it's a divisional game. The 28th of November, we have Green Bay. That's at Lambeau Field. Ooh, that's going to be harsh. That's going to be probably our second hardest game left, next to Buffalo. Then on the 8th of December, we have the Jets. Then on the 15th of December, we play Houston. Then the 22nd of December, we play San Francisco. Then the 29th of December, we play Cleveland. And then the last game of the season, we have the Jets again. And that's a Saturday game, the last game of the season. So my point is this is not an easy end of the season schedule here, guys. This is something to be looking at. Buffalo, the Rams, the Raiders, New England, Green Bay, the Jets, the Houston Texans, the 49ers, the Browns, and then the Jets again. Holy crap. Well, I'll tell you what. If we manage to make the playoffs with this schedule, I think all the talk about can they beat the good teams should be done. I'll give it that. That's what I'll say. I'll say that. Because it's not an easy schedule. 10 games left, okay? 10 games left. We are 2-5. We need to win 8 of those games. We can only really afford to lose 2 more games to even have a chance of making the playoffs. And losing only 2 of our last 10 games, if we win 8-2 to end the season, that puts us at 10-7. That doesn't even guarantee a playoff spot, guys and girls. Doesn't even guarantee a playoff spot. It just puts us in a good position to make the playoffs. You figure 10-7, that's going to give us a chance to be in the playoffs. That's a hard schedule. I tell you what, the betting man in me would look at the Buffalo game and the Green Bay Packers game in Lambeau. Those are the 2 games that I'd say we're probably going to lose. And we lose those 2 games, we have to win all the rest of the games. We have to win twice against the Jets. We have to beat Houston. We have to beat the Raiders. We have to beat the Rams. We have to beat the Browns in Cleveland at the end of the year. That's going to be a cold weather game. So last year's little caveats to our season, the 2 things everybody said, they can't win cold games. That's number 1. They cannot win cold games. And they can't beat good teams. Well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is when we find out, can that happen? Furthermore, can we put a bunch of wins together to end the season instead of losing a bunch of wins to end the season, or a bunch of games to end the season? We have to finish 8-2. I mean, there's a small outside chance that if we go 7-3, we could make the playoffs. I wouldn't count on it. We need to go 8-2. 8 wins, 2 losses, playoffs. And then we'll see what happens from there. I'm not even going to think about what's going to happen in the playoffs until we win 8 games. It seems like it's a ridiculously big mountain to climb right now. So, as a fan, if I'm looking at that and saying that this is a huge mountain to climb, it's borderline overwhelming. The Dolphins need to focus on this game, the Bills. They need to focus on the Bills. That's it. And then they need to go to the next game afterwards. Beat the Bills. I know some of you NFL players skate around on YouTube and you check out all these low-key channels and just watch. I would too if I was an NFL player. I wouldn't spend a lot of time doing it. But let's be real. I would watch a little bit here and there to see what everybody's pulse is. if by some strange stretch there's a Dolphins player sitting here watching my channel with 115 subscribers or whatever I have, guys, just focus on Buffalo. Go in there and shock the world. I guarantee you, if you go into Buffalo and you beat the Bills, holy crap, would you turn things on its head. I'd love to see it. So I'm gonna be rooting for them. I think everybody else should be too. Please don't root for the tanking and losing games. It's so sad to hear that from Dolphins fans. Please don't do it. Root for our team to win. If you want to have a great draft pick, and you want that to happen, fine. If it happens, it happens. But don't root for our team to win or to lose. Be a fan. Be a Dolphins fan. Want them to win. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for spending the time here with little old me, on my dumb little channel, and taking the time to sit here and watch it. I appreciate it. Like and comment and subscribe if you want. And you guys have a great evening. And I'll see you guys on Thursday night for the preview and the prediction for the game. Have a great evening, everybody.